last week, some reports came out about Bieniemy being too tough, and Curtis Samuel said that he actually really loves playing for him. So, I mean, I think it's something the Commanders need.
No, so the reason I also and the reason I want to talk about this one is because you remember what I was saying. I feel like we've gotten to an era where what a lot of people consider too intense, too harsh, is realistically just somebody who really wants to win. And that's a real thing nowadays. I've even dealt with that myself sometimes. You know how I am, where I'm a really and I'm actually like a nice person. Like I'm really I always want to get along with everyone really well. But my thing is when it's time to win, whether it be like a game in real life, a video game, or something, a board game, a game, like when there's a goal to win it, right? Like I'm playing it to win it. I'm not here to I don't care if me telling you where you need to be is going to hurt your feelings. And if it does, you're it's like, what's wrong with you? But we've gotten to this point nowadays where genuinely people think you're being too intense by actually just telling them what to do to be in place to win. It's like, or something they need to really improve on because they suck at it. People get defensive about things they suck about. It's like, hold on, time out. And that's my thing. That's why I said this, is because I just think a lot of people have gotten too soft in terms of how they take criticism. And Eric Bieniemy's probably old school. And he's like, dude, get it the fuck together. I'm not here. We're both here getting paid. I'm not here to pat your back, dude. If you're playing like shit, if you're running a specific route like shit, if a certain thing that you did, a certain drill you're not doing right, I'm going to get on you about it. Because again, it goes back to the whole thing like Curtis said. It's to make you better, and it's because they believe in you. If they didn't believe in you and they thought you couldn't get better and they thought you suck, you know what they would do? They just roll their eyes. They would literally, you see people do that sometimes. You've done that with certain people, have you not? You're like, you know what? Just keep fucking up. Because I don't care. You're not going to get better. I don't care. Just keep being an idiot. That's how people react to you if they have no faith. Yeah. But if they have faith in you and they know you can do better, they're gonna ride you hard because that's the whole. It's a sign of respect. But for some reason, we've gotten away from that nowadays. And when people push you to be great, everybody nowadays wants to cry about it. And I'm over here on Bieniemy's side, dude. No, you should want to be better every day. People pushing you and telling you that they know you can be better. That's a sign of respect to me. That means people see great in you. Yeah. It's not a slight. We've gotten so far away from just old school, and not that everything the old school was doing with that is right. But grind, bro. You gotta grind and get your ego out the fucking game. That's a real thing. We all come here we come here as a team, right? Yeah. In anything in life. In any reign of life where you have an organization. That's the thing is too many dudes have got their head in their brand too far in it nowadays. A lot of people have said. This is a thing across a lot of sports, but it's the whole thing of some people are really coming to put their ego aside and get better, and some people are here with the ego in check, and then that's why they're getting their feelings hurt.
Yeah, so something that I think is a good thing to reference too is I think it really depends where these guys come from. So if there's someone that was a top athlete all their life and came from a good program and they were the top guy at their program, they might not respond to that as well. Curtis Samuel came from Ohio State. I've always liked Curtis Samuel. He was always a good receiver to me. But it's just sometimes I don't know. I think it fits for the Commanders because they haven't really accomplished anything, and it's maybe Bieniemy went in there, saw how Ron Rivera was coaching, and was you know what, I can boost this up. Maybe he's not filling that void that Bieniemy is now filling. I don't know. I guess we'll see this year. But I understand, you think, there's definitely screaming going on at the Chiefs' practices when things aren't right.
Dude, no,
Belichick, same way.
But, and this was kind of something I just thought of on the side, too. But I think it goes along with this very one. It's very true. Someone like Bieniemy is probably very much how they operate. Is how certain people are, certain coaches. But I'll say this: these are the best coaches I've ever had in my life, bro, and I'll stand on this forever. In anything that you're getting coached, right? People who will basically never ever be satisfied all the way with what you're doing. And here's the thing: is you say to yourself every time, and you even get to the point mentally, you're like, oh, why aren't they satisfied? Or can I ever do anything all the way right where they're gonna be, oh, this was perfect, you did a great job. But what happens is, before you know it, is you get really, really good at your craft and you're doing really good. And then you look at your coach and you're like, wait, I'm damn near, you know what I'm saying? You're I'm so much better than I was. And it happened because you weren't satisfied. It's only that stuff. It's kind of a psychological thing, but you force yourself to get so much better, always looking for potentially I don't want to say the approval, but the recognition. And it's you'll never get it on purpose because they know that that's what's really driving you to be the best version of yourself. And then it's before you know it, even it's the Commanders in the Chiefs' case. It's like, oh, we're world champions, and it's like I'm not saying it's because of Bieniemy is the way he's pushing them. I'm not. You get my point.
Yeah,
but I'm saying it's like, oh, before you know it, the results speak for themselves. Like, that was what it was for. Like, okay, I understand. Like when we all pushed ourselves and put a lot of pressure on ourselves, I look back at myself last year and I'm like, I got a lot better because I forced myself to.
Yeah,
that's a coaching style. I mean, and that's probably how he operates. And if you can't work with that, then it's like, how are you going to be? You can't be accepting the $1 million paycheck.
Yeah, no, I agree.
It goes along with it.
I think also it'll be interesting to see if like he does get that head coaching position next year if Ron Rivera is fired. I wonder how they respond to that if they're losing. That's my thing.
That's what will be very interesting about the Commanders this year.
If it doesn't work, then you're losing. Yeah, it's just like, I don't know. So, moving on. You want to talk about the blindside situation, or are you not done?
No, real quick. I actually got one. I got one thing for you.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Here's a good question for you. All right. Will the Commanders make the playoffs this year, do you think, yes or no?
Yes, I think they will.
And my thing is, if they do, you think Bieniemy gets another shot at a head coaching gig?
That's interesting.
Because that's what's crazy is it's like, okay, that's what I'm sure his
really
selling point would be is if he does that, I'm sure he goes into everybody's office like, oh, well, I thought it was only the Chiefs, and I thought I'm a shitty guy. Like, oh, I came over here, and now look at. See, these are the results I'll bring to your franchise. I'm sure that would be his selling point.
That would be interesting. I actually don't know. I think, yeah, because they wouldn't fire Rivera then, probably. I don't know. See, here's my thing. I still think there's a chance, even if they make the playoffs, that they fire Rivera.
No, if let's say they sneak in as a wild card and lose the first round.
I think he's gone, and then Bieniemy gets promoted.
That would be crazy.
Yeah, that's what I think will happen. I think, okay, you can tell me anything. Unless the Commanders make the NFC Championship, I honestly think Ron Rivera is fired. So
no, I mean it does feel like we're on the crash course for it.
It's just like new ownership, like it's picture perfect for a firing.